Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of IBI Research Roundup. We're doing our team podcast this month, and today we have Carole Bonner with us, my colleague on the research team. Carole, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Sarah. Thank you.
I'm glad you're joining us. I'm happy to have this conversation with you.
Yeah, I'm glad you're doing this. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So let's start a little bit talking about your role at IBI. Tell me what you do in a way that maybe someone outside of our industry would understand.
Okay, so essentially, I'm a researcher at IBI, and what I do is pretty interesting. I explore how employee health connects to workplace productivity
Hmm.
and business success. But I apply sort of the academic statistical methods to the research, but I communicate the findings in practical, business friendly ways
Yeah.
and serve as essentially the bridge between the scientific discovery and real world business solutions.
Oh, I like that. I like that analogy of the bridge because that's kind of exactly what we do, right? To connect like the
Mm-hmm.
academic to the business life. Yeah, that makes
Yes.
a lot of sense. Tell me about your background coming into this role.
So my background is diverse, and that's what's exciting about this role. Um, I have worked as a analyst, performance analyst, market research analyst. Um, I have the background in statistics. I also have a master's in industrial engineer.
Wow.
So yeah, so I've done a lot with those things, but I also have a background teaching
Yeah.
um, first year college students, and so I bring that to the role, and I have some experience as a consultant. So I bring that to the role, and I think that's how I'm able to have the perspective of both the academic and the business side. Um, but this role was exciting because it brings all of that together.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a way that is practical.
No, so that's kind of like what Dorm said in our episode last week, kind of like you wear many hats, and it seems like you have different buckets of knowledge that really come together well in your role at IBI.
Yes, and that's what keeps me engaged and excited about the position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's a typical day like for you at IBI?
Oh, typical day. Well, we are 100% remote.
Hmm.
So even before I get up in the morning, I'm reading. So every project, we have to dive into the literature and know more about what's going on with that particular topic.
Hmm.
And so I read research, I read my writings. It varies on various days.
Yep.
But then um, I might shift to hardcore data, you know, um, maybe coding or cleaning data. Um, it's a big part of the job, cleaning the data, and before I even run it. And my approach to research is almost always exploratory. So if I've modeled something, it might lead me somewhere else. So I might have to code again.
Hmm.
So, but midday, this is when I'm at my best. I say midday, um, maybe 2 or 3 o'clock. I'm at my best, and so the work that requires deep thought, I choose to do that time of day.
Yeah,
Um,
that makes sense.
yeah, yeah, and but what is exciting about my job, I might go to design, in late afternoon when I'm kind of growing weary because I like graphics, and I like doing the visualizations and the infographics, and that gives me a boost. Um, and then it depends, I have something that's due. It depends what comes at the end of the day. But I get going 3, 4 o'clock and run till
Yeah,
7, and I might pick it back up at 10 o'clock.
I know. I know you're more of a night owl.
Yes, I am.
And and I think I like, you said you talked about doing the design. I like that we can switch gears a little
Yeah.
bit sometimes
Yes.
because it helps the reading and the writing, it's heavy work, and the design kind
Yes.
of like gives your brain kind of like a massage, I suppose,
Yes.
is
Yes.
the best way I can describe it.
Yep.
So yeah, I think that I enjoy that too. And I chatted with Brandon and Zoram in our last episodes,
Hmm.
and I enjoyed hearing what they do, but I obviously do what you do, so I
Yeah.
relate better and I'm understanding and I feel a lot of what you're
Yeah.
saying, so that's really cool.
Yeah. And one thing I didn't mention is um, connecting with our industry experts.
Hmm.
Um, that's another thing that will um, give me a boost in terms of if I hit a brick wall or something in the research,
Yes.
finding out more what it's like in the trenches. So that's a big part too.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Hmm.
So what current project or initiative are you working on that currently that you're most excited about?
You know what? Every time I start a project, I say, "Oh, I'm excited about
I
this one."
know.
And um, I'm wrapping up one project that is return to work, and it is exciting because I used a um, focus groups and talked to the industry experts, and I
Hmm.
learned so much. But the objective is successful return to work for people who have been out for injury or illness.
Yep.
And so that ties to the one that's coming up, um, which is more the short absences, a couple days, um, and managing those absences for people who are hybrid, remote, in office. And one aspect that we're going to look at is how to optimize that so that those people stay at work. They go for their uh, preventive screenings and rest when they need to rest and all of that. So it's exciting.
Of course, yeah. And I think that focus group element of this
Yeah,
project is
yeah,
um different for you.
it
And I
is.
think you really enjoyed it from,
I
seeing
did.
you do it. I think it was really good
I did.
change
It's
in your
different.
project. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more quantitative, um, and this was qualitative, but I like the rich data that you get from the
Hmm.
qualitative, and that's not what stops me. I love it. It's all those words kind of boggle my mind. I'd
Yeah.
rather have the numbers. So, but no, I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, and I think it was the best way to understand this topic.
That
So
topic.
I'm excited
Hmm.
for this to get published pretty
Hmm.
soon, right? We're going to be publishing
Yes,
this. Yeah.
yes, yes.
Awesome. Um, what part of your work at IBI gives you the most satisfaction?
The most satisfaction is the fact that we are connected to the people who consume the research. Um,
Yep.
when you're working in corporate, you do what you do, but you don't really see the effects of it. You don't really 100% feel like it's being used, honestly.
Yep, that's true.
Um, but in our case, we have the attention of the stakeholders, and in fact, they are the ones that drive the agenda. And so, um, you know, that's exciting to me,
I
you know?
agree with that. Yeah,
Yeah.
because we obviously we know we're researchers. We know the research, we know how to do research,
Hmm.
but that deep industry knowledge, it comes
Hmm.
from our members. And I agree. I think it's very useful to have that connection with them and then have them um, use our work in
Yeah.
their decision making. That's very satisfying. It's
Yes.
meaningful
Yes. And not only that, the decisions that they're making affect the health
of
of,
their people.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I was telling someone that the other day when I was trying to explain what my job is that at the end of the day I hope that whatever I research or put out there helps to make the people in these organizations have a
Yes.
better experience, you know?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What's something challenging about your role that you've grown to appreciate?
Challenging, because you said that I've grown to appreciate. When we first started or when I first came on, looking at the research committees,
Hmm.
um, all the research we construct the research questions, and then we kick off and we run it by our committees and get their input. Well, in the beginning, I didn't see the value of that.
Yeah.
To me, it was, somebody was going to tell me to go a different direction that I didn't want to go. But over time, I've grown to appreciate that, because, again, it makes the research more relative and
Yes.
relevant and useful. And it has crafted those research designs along the way. So I really I look forward to it now, because it's confirmation that I'm on the right track, and input helps me to tweak it so that it's more valuable.
Yeah, I agree with that because you don't
Yeah,
know what you don't know, right?
right.
And so it's helpful for, like we said, these people who live and work to do this every day, our members, to get their
Yes,
insight.
that's right.
Yep. So how would you describe the culture at IBI to someone considering
Oh
joining
my
our
goodness.
team?
The culture at IBI is nothing like I've experienced in the past. We are 100% remote, but we stay connected.
Hmm.
We stay caught up on what's going on with uh, coworkers and their families. We're small, but we're mighty. We get a lot done, um, and that's not just corporate speak. I mean it
It's true.
genuinely,
Yep.
right? Um, when I first came, we were larger, a little larger, but then we've streamlined. But it's amazing to see how much more we're getting done now
Hmm.
than when we were bigger. One of the things I value most is how um, this role connects me with colleagues and the collaborators across the U.S.
I know,
And
yes.
even Canada, the Netherlands, through shared research interests. So
Hmm.
I've received more requests for collaborations or contributions that I could possibly handle, which is a wonderful problem to have. But I'm genuinely excited about continuing to expand IBI's visibility and research influence.
Yep, I completely agree with that. I think
Hmm.
you and I started within a few months of each other, and I think
Yeah,
we've not grown in size, but in output and
yeah,
and quality, and I think it's just getting better and better.
yeah, yeah.
What's your favorite team tradition or memory at IBI in the almost 4 years that you've been here?
I love the when we get together at conferences and we
Hmm.
go to dinner or drinks or whatever. I look forward to that because the work can be intense,
Yes.
and family life can be intense. But connecting with all of you at IBI and sort of just relaxing and enjoying each other is therapy.
I agree. I really look forward to the events where the team meets up and we get to be in person and have that camaraderie. And we've
Yeah,
been doing it a little more often, I think,
yeah,
in
yeah,
the last year, and it really ignites that team spirit because you say we're small but mighty, and so it's nice to get together with everyone and see
yep.
how they're doing, and not talk shop all the time, but
Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah. Um, what skills or strengths do you bring to your role that might surprise people?
Um, People tend to pigeonhole you if you say you're a statistician, as a brainiac, a nerd, whatever,
Yeah,
which I am, but um, the nerd. I'm,
yeah, so am I can't deny it.
so, but I also have creative elements. To me, I'm a musician, but crafty and I like the graphics and the not just that the storytelling
Yeah.
in what we do. I also like the thing that many statisticians don't have is I'm very social. So I'm an introvert, but I'm social. I like to be in the mix. I'll say that. Um, and so part of that is I empathize with people. I see your side. I see their side, and so all of that comes in to make what I think is a well-rounded life.
Yep,
So it's not just numbers and being in the cloud. Um,
that makes a lot of sense.
yeah.
Yeah, and I was surprised to find out you were a musician. So that's but
Yes.
it's helpful in your job when you have to do the design, right? Like the creative
Right.
part. Like
The
you tap into
creative
that
side.
side of your brain.
Yes. And
Yeah.
there's a connection between music and math that I won't
Yes.
get into, but there is a connection. Um, but yes, I've been a lifelong musician and lifelong math lover. So.
Um, what's something you're learning or a skill you're currently developing?
I'm doing a what is it, Udemy
Uh-huh. Yeah.
course in clinical trials right now, but yeah, but I'm also working on my dissertation.
Yes,
So
because you are a PhD candidate right now.
yes, so
That's
I'm in the
exciting.
final stages. It's so exciting. Um, I haven't, it's intense, but
Hmm.
I love learning, and I'll continue, till I die. I think when you stop learning, it's time to go.
Yep, I agree with that. Learning
Mhm.
keeps you on your toes. It keeps you
Yep,
young, I think.
yep.
What how would you say your role has evolved since you joined IBI?
Uh, in the beginning, I think it was more focused. Um, you had we were a team of three, the
Hmm.
research team of three, and we literally had three projects to do the whole year, which is normal for research. Um, but we have evolved to a place, and I think it helps that we've been here some years now. We've evolved to a place where we're not just working on one project at a time.
Yep.
Um, we can do other things outside of the project. I have been trying to do offshoots since the day I got here.
Yeah.
Um, because when you're in the midst of a research project, you always have ideas for future research or how something is very important and needs its own moment.
Exactly.
Um,
And like we just don't have the capacity or the
right,
even like the papers we put out, we can't put every single thing from our data in it. So
right.
we, yeah, the offshoots would be great.
Yeah, yeah. So, that's something that has sort of evolved. And then we also have the freedom because, you know, Jim allows us to, Jim is the president, allows us to look at other things outside of the agenda
Mm-hmm.
and sort of, you know, take it on if we can, take it
Yep.
on. So I think the role has evolved, and part of it is that I have evolved in learning that the people appreciate the research and it's
Yes.
valuable to them. So that opens up my mind to think, oh yeah, I could do this, and that's important to this. What can I say? This sector, you
Yep.
know, and so it is evolved. My thinking has evolved, and the role has evolved.
I agree with that. I think, as we're doing more in-person events and we're getting more face time with
Hmm.
our members, the importance of our research to them is becoming more and more apparent.
Yes,
Um, and like I said earlier, it helps make our work meaningful.
yes,
So yeah, I agree with you completely with that.
yeah.
What excites you most about the future of our industry or IBI specifically?
Um, I think I think our incredible access to stakeholders um, and the agency we have to respond to their needs. Every conversation we have with employers, with you just said this, benefits professionals or industry partners, is like striking gold. I'm
Mm-hmm.
constantly amazed at how open they are to share their challenges and what's keeping them up at night, and and where they see the landscape shifting, and we're able to shift too.
Yes.
And so that's exciting because the caps that are on you in industry, in corporate, are different. And at IBI, I think IBI puts us in a unique position that you can't find anywhere else.
Yep, I
So,
agree.
yeah, I'm excited to go with it.
What, if you could implement one change or innovation at IBI, what would that be?
Change or innovation. I think, I think the work we do is fabulous. And, I have this thing for graphics. And I would love if we would expand it out so that we use graphics more to tell a story in
Mm-hmm.
ways that, I do graphics, but I'm not an artist,
Right,
and I've worked at other companies where there was creative.
right. Yep.
Um, yeah, so in an ideal world, we'd at least have direction
Yeah,
from creative, but
that's true.
yeah, yeah. But then, again, that would take it away from me, and then I wouldn't
Yeah,
have my therapy in the afternoon.
exactly.
So,
Um, let's shift gears a little and talk a little
okay.
bit about you,
Uh-huh.
not typically IBI, but just you. How do you recharge outside of work?
Oh, that music thing.
Hmm.
I'm a musician, and so making music in any fashion is recharging,
Hmm.
and also my family, my sons. I have two sons and two daughters-in-law, and my grandbabies.
I know your grandbabies are
Yeah,
your life.
they are my life. And even though you said recharge, even though they wear me out, I do recharge just if I can cut to a FaceTime with them, you know.
Yeah, I
So,
know. That's
yeah,
great.
yeah.
And let's talk about a little bit, what's your go-to productivity hack? What kind of really
Oh,
gets you to get something done?
ooh. Um, well, as of late, it's AI.
Mm-hmm.
Any wall I hit, AI can help me get around it.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Uh,
true.
yeah, yeah. So, um, I use that sometimes, I'm just, some things are tedious. Like I've got to put this in a table. I've got this
Mm-hmm.
data, I got to put it in a table. Well, now I can, load it into AI and it may be a little off, but it gets
The
me over
heavy
that.
lifting's done. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I
So,
agree. Like those kind of busy work, it's helpful
yeah.
to give. Yeah. Hmm.
hmm
All right. So, coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Early bird or night owl? I know the answer to this.
Yes, I'm a night owl. I'm a night
Definitely.
owl since I remember, and uh, I can't change it. If I had the latitude, I would be up all night and sleep probably half the day if I could.
That's so funny. I'm so the
Mm.
opposite of that.
Most people are, and
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's why it's a struggle.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Vanilla. Yeah, I'm
Really?
not. Yes, I'm not a chocolate lover at
Huh.
all. I can eat milk chocolate, but yeah,
Savory or sweet?
sweet.
Sweet.
Although it's a guilty pleasure now, but yes, sweet.
And last fire round, uh, beaches or mountains?
Oh, I'd prefer just the land.
The
I,
valley.
yeah, well, no, not the bad. I don't. I'm not a beach person.
I
I'm
know,
not a,
yeah.
yeah, and but I enjoy nature.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure the mountains. No.
Mm-mm. What is one app on your phone that you couldn't live without?
I'm older than you are.
Yeah, but you
I
still
still
use
no no
it.
no no. I'm attached to my phone. It's just that it has evolved, and so I'm not attached to a particular app.
Mm-hmm.
I will if there's an app that I use all day and it goes away, I'd find another one. I'm more
Ah,
attached
got
to
it.
the phone. I
Yeah, okay.
I have to put my hand on the phone if I'm not if I'm not using it.
That's
I
so
am
funny.
addicted.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's the connection to a whole world of knowledge,
Yeah.
and yeah, so it's my go-to.
And my final question for you is, what's the best piece of career advice you've ever received?
Mm. I think let's see how one of my professors said, find the questions behind the questions.
Mm.
So,
Hmm.
I know, and it sounds like research jargon, but it's not. It's something that transformed how I navigate life. It made me a better listener in every aspect of life. Instead
Mm-hmm.
of just reacting to the surface question or the surface issue at hand, take a moment to consider what might really be going on, or um, it doesn't mean that you're going to analyze death every conversation, but
Right.
become more attentive to the human context behind the words. And it helps me in my career also. So,
That's
question
really
behind the
sound
question.
advice.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
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 He'd be surprised. I'll have to. send them an email and tell him my
Tell him to
professor.
listen to the podcast.
Yes, yes.
All right. Well, that was the end of my questions for you. I really appreciate you taking your time to chat. I think it was a lovely conversation.
Oh, thank you. And we're going to have to turn the tables on this convecation
Oh, no,
and
no,
learn
no.
about Sarah. Not now, but we'll do it.
No, that's why I'm the host. No, I'm kidding. Yes, of course we can do that.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you,
Well,
Sarah.
take care. We'll chat soon.
All right.
All right. Thank you. That wraps up this episode of Research Roundup by Integrated Benefits Institute. We hope you found the insights valuable and the research thought-provoking. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to our podcast and leave us a review. Your feedback helps us to improve and bring you the content you need. Don't forget to share this podcast with your colleagues and network. Join us next time as we continue to explore the latest trends and research in employee health and well-being and workplace productivity. Until then, stay curious and keep learning.